Hi, Chantel.
Hey.
Welcome to the BLT podcast.
Thanks for having me.
It's so nice to have you here.
Yay.
We've wanted to get you on the podcast for so long, and I feel like this time it really makes sense. We've got the edit that's just come out, which we're going to talk about a bit later on. But yeah, it's really good to have you here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I don't know whether you're familiar with our podcast, but we kind of like want to get to know everything about our guests. So like, I feel like I already know you kind of through your Instagram and through your YouTube. But we want to get deep and find out like where you kind of began. So you've got a lot to be credited for. Not only are you a DJ, you're an actress, a YouTuber, a record producer. I mean, is there anything you don't do?
I mean,
I'm
sure there's a long list.
There's more to list.
Yeah.
But how did it all kind of start out for you? Like, what did you start with? Was it always DJing?
I've always been someone who's really interested in a wide variety of topics, and it's something I like to learn new things and explore. And, you know, you never really know what you like until you try things. So I think it's really important to try as many things as possible and just kind of like see what it is that clicks for you and what piques your interest the most, because then you're able to find your passions and see things that you know have an enjoyment doing rather than feel like it's a chore.
Yeah.
So over time there's been many things that have piqued my interest that I've liked, and I went through phases with different things, but I definitely think everything's a little bit interconnected, and things you learn in one subject often cross over into another. So that's helped me a lot with things that I do, especially in the arts, because when you're a creative person, you know, whether it's like acting and music, everything goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Fashion and yeah, so kind of just, I've always just had an interest in everything.
And you've built like a huge platform for yourself. I think you've got over 4.6 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
When did you realize that was more than just a hobby?
I think I first realized it when brands started reaching out to me, because I was just in college and I was just kind of like, I was late to Instagram anyways. And I was going to art school and I didn't really think anything of it. I would just take pictures with my friends or whatever. And I started having brands reach out to me to work with them and stuff like that. And then I had Wilhelmina reach out to me to have me come in to like scout me, to sign me to their agency. So I started modeling. And those things weren't ever really intentional when it came to Instagram. I didn't know. Obviously, I was never a social media person before that. So I didn't know like the potential that all of these things had. And once I started getting more into it through that, I started like, you know, showing my hobbies and interests through the platform. And then I like started doing YouTube and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it started for me.
Wow. And I'm interested, you said that you went to college there. And art school was it? What did you actually study then? Did you always know you wanted to be a DJ, or is it just like...
Well, I've always been into... Like I've been doing acting and musical theater and been involved in music and stuff since I was really young. My mom was really encouraging of that, and she also was like really into music and things like that. So I always wanted to do acting, and from a young age I had people approach my mom and like ask me to do auditions for things, and because I grew up in San Diego, so we would come to LA a lot, and people would always come up to my mom on like the street or different places and shopping malls and stuff, and be like, oh, like, would your daughter ever be interested in like acting or like modeling? My mom was really skeptical, especially of like acting, because she always thought that being in the limelight from a young age could have negative effects on me or whatever it might be. So she was just she's very protective, so she was really skeptical about things like that. But I really wanted to do acting and pursue the arts. So when I was younger, she like allowed me to do certain things with like theater, and I was part of a musical theater group, and I did also all of the theater at school. I was in the theater club, theater class, did all the plays and things like that. So that was always something that I was interested in. So when I started going to college, I was studying communication arts, but I also did like study like a minor in fine arts. So yeah.
And then DJing, how did that kind of come into the mix of things? I guess like it does go hand in hand, but where did you find that skill? Because it's a craft that you kind of have to learn. I guess it's not just like natural. I couldn't just get on a DJ thing now and
it's definitely a technical thing that you have to learn. It's sometimes you know that you have an interest in something like that. I've always been exposed to a lot of different genres of music, and my parents were very into different genres. And so when I was in school, I went to school in Miami, so there's a really interesting music scene down there, and they have, you know, Winter Music Conference, they have Ultra, they have all these things where there's so many different types of music and DJs, and they just have, you know, a really diverse music scene and a very strong culture down there, especially with the arts. They have like art balls and all these different things. So for me, I experienced a lot of different DJs and different types of music while I was in school. Because before that, I didn't really go to raves and parties or was able to see that lifestyle or that side of things. Because I grew up in like mostly smaller towns. So then once I moved there and I was exposed to that, I had such an interest in it. And then over time, I just really liked finding new artists and finding like my collections of music, and I'd make my playlists. And when I was younger, I was like one of those people that would make mixtapes. Like I would like
love that.
Use my cassette tape and then go from the radio and record songs, like make a mixtape and give it to my friends. And so I've always just been into that stuff.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like you had like a lot of opportunity and like a really cool upbringing, that you were involved in all these different things like the arts and like, you know, the drama kind of classes and music, would you say? Mm-hmm. That sounds really
for
cool.
Sure. My mom liked to expose me to a lot of different things just so that I could like find my interests. Yeah. She was never like too pressuring on, you have to do this, you have to do that. But she would definitely put me in all different types of like music and sports and things like that, so that I could kind of like see what I liked. And she never really forced me to stick to anything if I didn't want to.
Love that.
So she kind of was just like, oh, like whatever.
And then your first single came out in 2018, Wait, I believe.
Yeah.
And then that went to number 10. It went in the top 10 of Billboard charts. I mean, what an amazing achievement. Do you remember how you felt in that moment when it's like it's in the top 10 of Billboard charts?
I mean, I didn't really expect that to happen necessarily. But I was very ecstatic about it, and it was a really cool experience working with all of the people that were part of making the song. And, you know, the song itself is me as an artist to try to figure out what my musical identity is. You know, it takes some time because I like every genre, so it's harder to know, like, okay, some people, like, they're very specific with what they like. Yeah. So it's easy because you're like, okay, yeah, this is the only thing I like. Like, I don't have to make a choice out of 50 things I like. So, yeah, I mean, it was a really cool experience. And, you know, I've still been figuring that out. But definitely making progress.
Yeah, you definitely are. You're killing it. How did you come to that decision? Like you say, there were so many different genres. How do you come to that decision, like, this is the sound? Because as your first kind of record or your first single, it's like, this is kind of the one I'm going to be known for from the beginning, you know? So it's a statement coming out with your first track. So how did you find that sound and make that hard decision that it is?
Well, I just think that generally at the time, that was what I was most interested in, that genre and that specific type of music. Yeah. It definitely changes. But at that moment, that's kind of like I was spending all my time like only listening to that music, studying that music, and collecting all of my little tips and tricks from that type of genre, and spending a lot of time exposing myself to that music. So yeah, like I said, it's definitely changed over time, but at that moment, that's kind of what I was focusing on.
And you performed around 55, probably over, but 55 shows just last year alone. You must be traveling all the time.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely people that do way more shows than that.
That's a lot though, 55.
There's definitely people that are traveling 10 times more. Well, maybe not 10, more like 5 times more. But yeah, for me, it was a lot of, you know, 3 cities in a week or 2 cities in a week, kind of back to back. Over time, it gets really draining but you do get into a routine of feeling like, okay, I'm home for 3-4 days and then I know I'm going again on the road. So once you get into the swing of that, you can keep it going for a while. And then towards the end of the year, I got really tired and wanting to stay home and kind of like relax. Not necessarily relax, but work at home and be at home instead of being on the road all the time. Because I would forget where I was when I would wake up, or I'd wake up in a panic, like, oh, I have to go to my flight, and I'd just be home. And I'd like open my eyes and be like, oh.
Oh my God.
But yeah.
It sounds like a lot of pressure, like, because you've got so many other jobs. That you are a DJ, but you're also a model, you're also an influencer, you know, you've got so many things to do. So how do you keep kind of saying, like, okay, today I've got to go and DJ at this show, tomorrow I need to shoot all this content for my Instagram? Like, how do you plan it all out? Do you have help with that?
Yeah, I definitely have help, and I also have been trying, like my New Year's resolution was to be more organized because
we could all do
I've
that.
never been one of those like super structured, organized people, but I know that that's something that I need to do.
Yeah.
Like for myself and just kind of for my sanity. So I've just been trying to be like way more organized and prepared and stuff like that. I'm very like ADHD, so I'm always going from one thing and then like I'll start doing something else I have to do and I won't even finish it. And then I'm like, oh, and going back and forth. And I'm one of those people that like I wake up and I'm already really hyper. So then I like wake up and I start doing all these things. And I definitely get sidetracked a lot. I'm like, okay, Chantel, focus. But yeah.
And in terms of your shows, do you remember the first ever show you played? Could you remember?
Yes. It was, I'd say like 5 years ago, maybe 6.
Wow.
And it was in Miami Swim Week. I DJ'd an event for this swimsuit brand, and because it was during Swim Week in Miami.
Which is a huge week in Miami.
And this brand, I had like worked with them doing just like some influencer stuff and whatever. And they it's funny because I actually had never really DJ'd yet. It was a hobby of mine. I had like, obviously it was my first show, so I had it. But I had been like doing it at my house and practicing and doing it with my friends. But I had been making playlists and I had been putting them on SoundCloud because people asked me to do so. So they were like, can you make a playlist? Because we always like the music that you play and like your Snapchat stories and stuff like that. So like, can you make playlists of just all the songs that you've been playing? So I did that and I made my username Ceejay The DJ. And so because of that, people started, like the playlist grew so fast and my SoundCloud grew so fast. I had like 150 or like 100,000 followers on there of people like listening to my playlist. And a lot of those people had no idea who I was, which I came to find out later that they didn't know. They just like, they would tell their friends about the playlist and then
say it's Ceejay the DJ, but
like,
had
no one
idea
knew who
Chantel
it was.
Jeffries.
Yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
this brand saw and they knew that I was working on the stuff and they just thought I was already DJing. So they asked me to play their swim week party. And I was like, well, I better figure out what I'm doing. So I like had some help. I had some lessons from some of my friends that were DJs. I did a lot of studying and like practicing. And then that was like my first show. It was just like nothing crazy, but like a swim week event. So
nothing like throwing yourself in at the deep end there.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, I was really nervous, but
I bet
it turned out to be fine.
And you still get nervous now because like they are big shows and like with. I mean, how many people are at those kind of shows? There's thousands now.
Yeah,
like, that's what it looks like from the Instagram
there is.
videos and pictures.
There's thousands. I mean, there can be 1,500 to like 5,000. It depends on the venue.
Do you still get nervous then?
I mean, I do get like nervous, I guess. Not necessarily. Like once I walk in, I'm not nervous anymore.
That's it. Once you
it's
start,
kind
it's
of
fine.
like when leading up to me going there.
Yeah.
That I get nervous sometimes.
And so the name Ceejay the DJ as well, you did say it, but that was purely brought up just because of SoundCloud. You hadn't thought of that. It wasn't kind of pre-planned.
I wasn't planning, like, people would call me that as a joke, kind of like
when you
because I was a person to like always take the aux cord, always have to play the music. It was just something. So everyone was like, "Oh, like Ceejay the DJ." They would call me that. It wasn't even something that I made up, so I can't even take the credit. Like it was literally people online or my friends and just like calling me that and kind of just catch on.
So it's a collaborative.
Yeah, I also have an easy name to rhyme things with. So
yeah, it works quite well.
I'm like Ceejay in my PJs.
We could just make a rhyme up here.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll try that later on maybe. But okay, speaking of your shows, what's the like most favorite show you've ever played so far? Do you have like a really memorable one?
I think I wouldn't say there's one specific show, but I definitely really enjoy pool parties.
Yeah.
And it's just like the vibe of the type of music. It's always like more upbeat, happier type of vibes, and it's sunny and people are just having a good time and you can see everyone, which I like.
Oh yeah, because
in the night I can't really see that well, and I like to see
phone lights.
Like I like to see when I'm playing music, people their reactions to it. So when it's daytime, I can see so much better. So I can like really see if people are having fun. I can really see like how much they're having fun or how much they're just kind of like I can generally see, and it gives me more energy to feed off and kind of like be able to
And you've now collabed with some pretty incredible people as well. Like, how did that all come about? How did you meet these people? Were they kind of in the industry when you started? Like, were you friends before? So you've collabed with like the likes of Rich the Kid, Jeremiah.
Yeah, it's been either I've been friends before, or it's been kind of like we have mutual friends and I'm working on something where I think someone could be really good for it. I mean, I definitely have a lot of friends, and so a lot of the time, even that, or sometimes people just reach out to each other through online. Yeah. So I've had people reach out to me. I've reached out to people online, being like, "Oh, I have a really great idea for you," or people being, "Oh, let's collab and I'll work on something for them." Cool. So yeah, it just kind of like depends.
And who's been your favorite person to collab with so far?
I don't know if I can pick a favorite, but...
I thought there was going to be a new one coming in there that we don't know about yet.
Well, yeah, actually there are. I'm like, I mean, it's such a unique experience with every person, so I can't really say favorite or not, but I definitely have created some really amazing friendships through working on music, and I do think that every time I work with someone new, it's a new, unique experience. That there's some people who I just am in awe to watch them work and like how their brain works, and there's some people that just have such great energy that I enjoy. So, it's just different aspects. It's kind of like,
Can't name one.
I mean, I wouldn't. I like honestly.
She's like, I like them all.
I'm like. They're just different experiences for me.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And you've also got an incredibly successful YouTube that I mentioned before, over 1 million subscribers. How on earth are you finding the time to make this content?
I've been trying to be better with my YouTube, because that's something I genuinely enjoy so much, is to be able to post videos that my fans really actually want to see. Like, I usually just do things from my suggestions. Like, I don't come up with the ideas of videos most of the time. It's more, okay, what do you guys want to see?
Yeah.
And to be able to get that feedback, because of all the other things, I haven't been able to post as much as I used to. And so that's something I've also been working on, trying to find a balance. Yeah. To kind of like, because it's like, yes, I can have a videographer and have people filming and making videos for me, but I feel like on my YouTube, it's more personal with my fans. So like, it's something I kind of want to like do myself in my bedroom.
Oh, wow.
So that they feel like more, like
connected.
Like more connected. So
do you actually edit the videos yourself?
I don't edit them. Like, I have someone that edits them for me, but like I'll film it in my room or my bathroom or in my house or like with my friends doing whatever. Like, I'll be the one filming. Cooking. Yeah. So it's not like I have someone else filming it. It's more like, you're
putting the work into
for the most part. Anyways, yeah.
And you've got loads of friends in the industry that I've seen kind of help you with content. You've now moved into a new house, I believe, with Alyssa and Cindy, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw your recent video. So do they kind of help you with content? I mean, I've seen the cooking one, but are they helping you as well?
I think... Like, well, for the cooking thing, these are like my ideas. Everyone's in the house, so everyone kind of like, we have ideas of things we all want to do together and stuff like that. So, yeah, we just kind of like, we'll make videos and be in each other's videos and stuff. And
how is it living in a house with two girls? Like, you all seem quite wild. You've all got your different personalities, but there must be a lot going on because you're all creatives. You've all got amazing lifestyles and amazing jobs. Like, that must be a wild house.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of stimulation. We all take time and we like stay in our rooms, and like sometimes we're like all wanting to do a bunch of stuff, and sometimes we're all kind of like, oh, we just want to like chill in our rooms by ourselves. It depends, but sometimes you get like FOMO because you'll be like, I'll be in my room and then I'll be like hearing everyone and they're all like in Cindy's room or they're all like chilling together, and then I'm like, oh, I'm like working on something in my room. I'll be like working on a song or like working on my set, and then I hear everyone in the other room and I'm like, oh, well, I have to go fill up my water bottle. So let me go see what everyone's doing out there. And then I'll get like sucked into it and I'll be like, oh, time for me to get back to work.
It sounds like a really fun lifestyle, like really crazy fun.
Yeah.
And with everything you're doing, you still manage to maintain an incredible figure. Like, I mean, something you've always been known for is your insane body. Like, how on earth do you manage to keep up with it? And do you work out like 24 hours a day or...
I've actually been working on a lot more just because of my mental health. And I think like having that structure of like, okay, I'm going to work out at this time every day. And like, it's also so important to keep your stress levels down and your cortisol by like releasing them through exercise. And that's something that because I wouldn't work out as much before. I'd work out like once or twice a week, and it was mostly diet for me because I have a strict diet based on things that I'm allergic to.
Yeah.
So it's something that I don't really it's not like, oh, I'm trying not to eat these foods or not. It's like, if I'm allergic, I will not eat it. There's not a compromise.
It's going to make you poorly.
Like, I can't. So I don't have like, oh, I'll have a cheat day. No, like, I eat what I eat and that's it. And like, it doesn't change at all. And it's been the same for years. Like, it is like, I just can't eat certain things. So because of that, like, my figure would stay a certain way. But now I've been working out more because of the mental benefits. And I've noticed an increase of, obviously, like muscle mass and stuff like that now that I've been working out a lot more. But yeah, it's definitely for me mostly diet. And it's just because I unfortunately am allergic to a lot of foods. It actually doesn't bother me because I've just never eaten them. So I don't miss them. But like, yeah.
But how do you manage like when you're on the road? So if you're like touring or you're doing shows, like how do you manage to one, get those foods in? Because sometimes you just it's hard to do that.
That's actually something that was an issue for me when I was traveling a lot. Because it's easier when you're in like a big city like LA or Miami or New York to find health conscious or like certain types of food, whether it's like keto or vegan or gluten free. Like you can find those options easily in like a major city. But a lot of times when you're traveling to a smaller markets and stuff like that, or different countries, they don't necessarily have those options available. So sometimes like I honestly wouldn't, like I would always make sure to bring like a lot of snacks and things I can eat just so that I can make sure that I have something. And like usually I can find options, but a lot of the time it'd be like me eating French fries because like that's one food I know I can always eat, or like, you know what I mean? So yeah, sometimes it was hard on the road, and I noticed myself like not getting enough calories necessarily when I was traveling. So I would like, you know, be eating things that weren't so healthy, like a lot of like rice and like potatoes or French fries and stuff like that, which isn't what I would normally eat when I'm like in LA. But yeah, I'm like so hungry. Yeah.
Well, you're looking amazing. I'm glad that you've told me that. I mean, I think it's just it comes natural to you, clearly. But on top of everything you're doing, you're also a PLT brand ambassador.
Yeah.
Do you know you are a first ever one?
Yes.
Like you were the first
in
ever
America,
brand ambassador.
in America.
Yeah. And I remember years ago, my first Christmas party when I started working at PLT, you actually DJ'd at it. It was at King Street Townhouse in Manchester, so all the UK people listening, you know where I'm on about. Do you remember that?
Yes. I remember what I was wearing too.
Oh, what were you wearing?
I was wearing like this silky red, like pajama looking kind of button-up dress.
Oh my God, I need to go and see.
I just love comfy clothes. It's something that's never changed. I like I was literally wearing pajamas at the party. It wasn't a pajama party either.
Well, that makes complete sense for your new edit, because you have just released your new loungewear edit, which is very comfy. You're in it right now. So for the people that are just listening, and sorry you can't see it, but the guys on YouTube, this is part of the ensemble. This is an ensemble.
Yes. So for the people that can't see, I will describe my outfit for you. I am wearing these really fuzzy sweatpants that are a nice cream color. And
they actually look so cozy. Can I feel them?
Yes, they look like a sheep.
They're good.
I don't know exactly how to explain it besides it looks like a sheep. And then I'm wearing a one-shouldered khaki green, army green kind of color, crop tank top.
I love
it. It's ribbed as well.
I feel like that was like ASMR. People listening like,
ASMR.
I've got it.
I'm like,
that's really good. Don't worry.
I know, I've been a little under the
You've been a little bit under the weather. It's all this work you're doing. Like you need a week off. Chantel's manager over there, she needs a week off. And on your edit, for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, could you describe like the whole kind of vibe? Like what was the inspiration behind it?
It's definitely casual, cozy. My biggest thing is being comfortable, because I like to have fun and make sure that everyone else is having fun, and I can focus on having fun when I don't have to worry about being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's the number one thing I realized, especially with DJing. Like, I always wear sneakers and comfortable shoes so I can dump around and have fun and have the best time.
Yeah.
I could not DJ in heels. I wouldn't be able to have as much fun. Everyone else wouldn't be able to have as much fun. So I've just that's been my number one thing, is like comfort, also versatility, just because you never know what life's going to throw at you and you want to be prepared. I like outfits that you could wear for like a normal daytime, and then like, oh, you happen to go out and like you still look cool, but you're comfortable. So that's something that I like. Yeah, I like to be like ready for whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, it's definitely like more monotone. Got some really cool textures in there, and yeah, like cozy clothes, like comfy, cozy.
I think that's the best way to be. I feel like every girl just needs to be comfy. Everyone needs to be comfy. Yeah. And for all the years ago that you did start working with PLT, like what made you decide, I'm going to work with PLT? Because I'm sure you get approached by loads of different brands. Like, why PLT?
Well, I like how they have so many amazing different like sectors to what they do. Like look at the podcast. I mean, even that they're always looking at new ways to be innovative and creative, which is something that I like. And they have different styles for everyone, so it's very inclusive. As even like with the sizes, they have sizes for everyone. They have types of clothes for everyone. They have comfortable things. They have more fancy things. So for me, it's kind of like rather than being like I said before, I'm someone who's interested in all different things and stuff like that. So I feel like that resonates with me. And yeah.
And what about your shoot with PLT? Is there any gossip from the shoot? What was that like? Was it in LA?
Well, we were shooting. Some really strange guy came onto the set that wasn't supposed to be there, and I got really scared. What? And I like ran inside.
Stop! I didn't know this. Yes. Tell me what happened.
I don't know. Some guy just comes in, like was like spying on us from across the street, and like just like walked into like where we were, and then just started yelling and being like, "This is my neighborhood." What? And we were like, "Whoa!" And I like ran inside because I got scared. But I was like, "Okay."
So this was in LA.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, everything went smoothly and fine. But like, I was just like, whoa.
There's always got to be a bit like when I said, "Is there any gossip?" I just thought there'd be something little. Like I didn't actually know that. No one told me. But,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, other than that, well,
I mean, you're here to tell the tale, so I'm glad you're safe. Like that's. Good.
I always am like, I think one step ahead. But no, everything was like super quick and easy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite piece from the collection? Would you say is it what you're wearing now?
I really like the tie-dye crop just because like I posted the other day, I was like, tie-dye is my favorite color because I was like, I just love tie-dye so much. Like I could wear like an oversized tie-dye shirt every day for the rest of my life. Like I love tie-dye. And I also love these sweats. There's also like a sweater dress type of thing made out of the same material. I guess it's not really sweater, but
I mean, we need to figure out whatever this is called.
I think it's like Sherpa, but
Sherpa.
I don't know if that's.
Like, but basically, they're just the coziest, comfiest looking things in the world.
Yeah, there's like these sweatpants, and then there's also like an oversized, like a sweatshirt dress.
Nice,
made of the same material, which I just love this material because like not only does it feel good on your skin, but then when you're like rubbing your legs or something, you're like, ooh. As a treat.
It's cozy. I love it. Everything is happening for you right now, though. You've got a crazy life. So like I said, you're doing so much. So what are you kind of like manifesting for 2020? What's coming next for you?
Well.
Oh. Could we spill some more tea?
I'm like, well, I've been like looking at houses to move, and I really want to get like a lot of animals.
You're so into animals, aren't you?
And I want to like have my garden and like plant all my plants. So that's just like, I've kind of been like, oh, I think I'm going to become a dog person. Like not fully because like I will still always be a cat person, but I want to be like a cat and a dog person simultaneously.
Is the thing. I was always like, she's a cat person. And I feel like no one is a cat person. I'm a cat person.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd be heartbroken if you didn't.
Person.
Your cat's beautiful.
It's also just because, well, what I've noticed is my cat has the exact same personality as me. Like it's just so, but I also feel like that's kind of like, I used to have a dog when I was growing up, and I trained my dog, and I had like the most well-behaved dog ever. I honestly thought that all dogs act like that because this is the only time I had a dog. So I was just like, you just let the dog outside. It would never leave the yard. You didn't have to put on a leash. It would never bark. It would never go to the bathroom inside. It would like just follow you. It would never fight with the cats. Like I just thought that's how all dogs were. So I was like, I love dogs. I'm a dog person. But then once I met other dogs that didn't do those things, I was like, oh, I'm a cat person because I don't like when they're like chewing your stuff and like jumping on you and scratching legs and slobbering. But then now I'm like, if I get a dog, I think it will act the way you want it. Because I feel like your animals really do reflect your personality.
Yeah.
I feel like they feed off your energy. So like, if you're like a chill person and you're kind of just like not mischievous and you're just chill, like your animals will be like that. My cat, for the most part, is like very well behaved, except for now she has started doing this weird thing where she pees in the sink. So she straddles over the hole of the sink and pees. And I don't know why. And it's very strange. It's not something that I've probably done more than once in my life. But she's been doing it. I don't really know. And then she also likes to shred my paper towel rolls. Other than that, perfect.
Perfect.
So
none of us are completely perfect. So
yeah,
that's fine.
I'll take that. I go, thank God she pees in the sink and not like on the bed or on the floor. I'm like, I don't have to do anything. I just turn the water on. I'm just like, hopefully she just starts peeing in the toilet. That's what I would really
That'd
like.
be really
ideally.
clever.
Yeah.
I feel like if you manage to get her to do that.
I trained my other cat to do it, but I want her to just do it on her own because she's now doing the sink. I'm like, it's just really close.
I could talk to you about cats all day, but I better leave the cat bit there. But on the note of your animals, will you be getting any more animals like chickens?
I want chickens.
I can see you getting chickens.
I want like a lot of animals. So that's what I'm manifesting.
Okay, I love
like
that.
my mini farm kind of thing.
And what about work? Can we see anything coming in the future? Any new collabs? Any new music?
I've been working on some new music, definitely a different sound.
Ooh.
So I'm excited about that because this is the music that I like the most right now. So
Okay.
I've
Can
been
you
doing
give
that.
us a teaser? Like what kind of sound it might be? A little hint?
Definitely some tech house inspired or Tulum inspired. There's definitely some
Very
different
exciting.
aspects coming in, but
Okay.
that, and then obviously I've just been, getting back into the acting stuff, which I love to do, and it's always been like my first love, and I always just felt like I didn't pursue it as much as I thought that I would when I was younger. So it's something that I've been looking forward to doing. It's just such an interesting art for me. You learn so much. I feel like you're always reading and learning so much, and you learn so much about the way people are and the reason why they're like that. So it helps you understand people and not take things so personally in real life. So that's what I like too. And so I would say
hopefully we'll see you soon.
And maybe a podcast.
And maybe a podcast. I mean, after
Of my
today,
own.
I think we should definitely see that coming. I mean, we'll support you all the way, of course, as we always do. You're going to be doing a lot. I mean, 2020 is going to be incredible for you, as the past few years have been. We can't wait to see. And like I say, you've achieved so much, and you're already doing so much. So we can't wait to see what you do. But to anybody listening who is inspired by you, or wants to be a DJ, or wants to be an actress, what kind of advice would you give? Is there anything that you like live by, like a mantra, or something you believe in that you like is a nice piece of advice to give our listeners before we finish?
Well, sometimes I'll like think to myself like, wow, I might be fully delusional, but I like really think that if I put my mind to something and I believe in it and I have discipline, like you can achieve it. Like that's the way I think about things in life. So I honestly feel like manifesting things is a big part of getting them done. And then also, putting in the work and the time and effort, because you need to be prepared for when the opportunity presents itself. But I think like the more you manifest, the more the opportunity is likely to show up in your life. So I definitely think being observant, manifesting, and just having discipline and dedication.
Well, there we go, guys. It's been amazing getting to know you today, Chantel. Thank you so much. I mean, I could sit here and talk about cats with you for another 2 hours, but we can do that offset. But it's lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we'll see you in the future, and we'll be looking out for everything that you do. And thank you so much to everyone that has been listening at home. This has been PLT Behind Closed Doors with Chantel Jeffries.